Said bye, George. Nice. All right. Somehow got frozen there, ladies and gentlemen. I was going through somebody's email. I got excited and my entire system froze. So I'm gonna just this is gonna be part B of the same show. We're just gonna continue. All right. So he's like, I think I can recognize I am feeling FOMO. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can be patient and act if I'm clear about what I'm looking for. Thank you for any mentorship you can give me onto this. So, yes, I mean, I would say the best thing for you to do before I said, by George, I think he's got it. You're right. You totally understand what I'm trying to do. I'm approaching trading from a psychological perspective. And when you approach it like that, instead of saying what strategies work to make money, you actually can breed success. You can breed success. And so I would just start with a few strategies, paper trade them, my brother. Welcome to our family. As you said, you are joining the room, joining our family. Welcome. I look forward to serving you. Simple as that. Um, all right. Hey, Mark, something I noticed that I wanted to share with the room. One of the indicators that you talk about on whether there'll be good PI is the stock being above the first 2 minute high. Well, there's another indicator. I think I did this email already from you. Yeah, this is where you talk about Roku. Yeah, yeah. All right. And you were sharing. Right. I remember you're sharing the Tesla IV today. Right. Yeah, so you're talking about the implied volatility. I think that's a brilliant thing. I think what you're watching there is brilliant, and I don't have it set up yet, but it's definitely something I'm going to research into. For tonight's fireside or whatever is called on Sundays, I was wondering if you could address the following question. I watched your video on reverse VWAP trades after earnings announcements and wondered if you see them still working. I think I answered this too. Am I going back to older emails? Yeah, this is 3 days ago. Sorry, my computer after reset became a little bit funny. I haven't been looking at the VWAP strategy during earnings, so I can't tell you. That was the answer I gave. All right, so sorry, I went back to a couple old emails. Newer email. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but I'm still unclear on how you select the best strike price to trade. For example, when a stock is trending higher and you are doing multiple quick scalps, 2 minute green takes red for green, for example, how do you select the strike price? If you trade the same stock in the morning and then before the close, will you still use the same strike price or adjust? I work full time in an office and I can only listen for the first hour of the broadcast and then catch the nightly video. That's good. First hour of the broadcast is perfect. Thanks for all you do. I'm retiring at the end of the year and hope to join your room then and trade for a living. Well, congratulations. Um, Best thing would be for you, even though you're planning on um, join the room at the end of the year. I would actually join earlier just so you could fully get acclimated and everything, even if you're just listening in and even if you're retiring. I think that would be of tremendous value to you. So you could sort of get that ball rolling. That's just my opinion. And I know you're saying you want to join at the end of the year. How do I choose the strike price? I admit I'm not an options genius. I choose strike prices based on volume and price improvement. So basically, I'll go to the room and I'll say, all right, where were people getting good price improvement? People will be like, oh, I got bad price improvement here, good here, bad here, good here, and I'll choose one that's good. Or I'll share one that I find that's good. Basically, if I'm trading a Tesla and I'm getting really good fills when I mark it in and mark it out, that's the strike I'm using. They generally recently have been in the money. So if the stock is $665, a lot of times I'll trade the 650 calls or the 660 calls. Sometimes there'll be no difference. There's no genius recipe for me actually choosing a strike. I don't look at any of the Greeks. I keep it real simple. I use options as a tool to trade the common. That's it. Hi, Mark. So it's literally has like zero complexity. I literally treat options like I do common stock. Hi, Mark. I want to share a fix for Fidelity's Active Trader Pro for anyone experiencing the program freezing around the open or close of the day. Cool. For months, I kept having the issue of ATP freezing once I entered an order within the first 10 minutes or so of the open. Then I would need to close it and open it again to fix. I thought this was due to an old computer I was using, so I never bothered to call Fidelity about it. Then last week, I finally bought a new computer and still experienced the issue, so I called Fidelity to figure out why it was happening. They let me know what the number one cause for this is due to having watch lists with unrecognized ticker symbols, and the representative pointed out that I had an old list that I forgot about with 10 unrecognized symbols for companies that went out of business. Then I went in and deleted the watch list. I'm now happy to say I was able to enter a trade in the first minute of the open, didn't have any issues with the platform. I'm logging in right now. I want to see if I could do this. Now, I probably have a very small watch list. The truth is, I don't use it. So I don't even use my watch list. So I'm not even sure if that's why it happens. I mean, my computer should also be able to handle these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to literally X off my watch list and just make this part of my screen bigger. Okay, perfect. Let's see if that helps. I appreciate the heads up. Thank you. Next email. Want to change. Want to change is the name of this email. Good afternoon. I do not expect you to have time for this silly note. Look at me having time for this silly note. I'm only writing because something about your background tells me maybe you have been down my road before. I too started day trading in 1999, but at the age of 38. So you are literally, I started at 19 years old, you 38, you are literally 2 times as old as me. Was out of the market more than in through the last 22 years. Early on, I was bold in my trades and therefore had big gains, never held long enough, and also sometimes too large losses. Overall, the money was good. My biggest trading problem in the last few years is that I did learn to cut losses, but also never pull the trigger on my best ideas. I am very slightly profitable lately, but do not even cover my living. Probably others in your group would make more dollars on my calls than I ever do, lol. That's psychological toxicity talking. I know the root of my problem is something in me. Damn right it is. Do you suggest joining your trading floor? I really do want to change myself. This is really the first time in my life that I even tell this much about myself to a stranger, so I must be close to throwing in the towel. Thanks for listening. Um, I will tell you right now, I will tell you right now, the fact that you are sharing what what you are talking about with me here, the fact that you are sharing it proves to me that there is something inside this room which is making you want to share it. It's not that you're close to throwing in the towel. The truth is, if you did throw in the towel, you'd be sitting there thinking about trading for the rest of your life because you've been doing it for 22 years. That's a fact, and we both know that. We both started at the same exact time. Um, I'm just emailing you. I'm just emailing you just to make sure you read this. I believe that my trading floor is the only place that can understand and help someone like you. See, what happens is when you're, and I'm not really coming from a place of where I'm saying this or that. There are literally people, if you don't believe me, watch the last 10 open houses where I tell people don't join this service. It's not for you. For someone like you with a lot of psychological toxicity, it's going to take me a lot of time to try to help you and fix you. The quicker that you can acclimate towards psychological healing process, the quicker, I could probably help you get to where you want to go. If you are willing, if you are willing to take the advice of somebody who started when you did, I have all the same problems as you did. I was making a little bit of money, and then I was big losses and big wins and everything in between. I already know the type of trading you do. I'm sure. How often do you double down? How many big blowout days do you have a year? Like, I mean, I could probably tell you so many more things because I know you're still doing it. I not often, by the way, but rarely. And I know that. And I don't even know who you are. I'd walk by you in the street and I wouldn't even stop and look at you. I wouldn't recognize you. So going back to what you're saying, I do have time for your silly note. The real question is, do you have time for you? Do you want to go through the process of psychological healing and then learning simplistic strategies that will literally continue to fortify your psychology from that point forward and put you in a happy place? Because I know where you want to be. I know your entire I know so much of your psychological profile just by this email. Don't believe me? You do believe me? I'm going to share it with you anyway. Even though you've been trading for 22 years, exactly the same amount of time that I have been trading, all you would be very happy at this point, literally making $500 a day. And you've been trading 22 years, and I know you've had much larger days than that in the past, even this year. You just want to form a consistency because you want to keep doing this job and you want to keep doing it intelligently and you don't want to throw in the towel and you do want to get paid and be able to pay your bills. That's what you want. My question to you is, are you willing and are you going to have an open mind to learning how to psychologically fortify yourself? And if your answer is yes, absolutely this is the right place for you. If your answer is no, then enjoy the strategies and I'll do whatever I can for you in the meanwhile over these next 2 days. But really, that it's kind of funny because that's really the question to everyone. Some people are much easier to psychologically heal than others. Traders who have been trading for 20 years, they take longer. Traders who are brand new, a lot of times they can find success a lot easier because they're not dealing with the same psychological toxicity. Now, there's other things. Did your parents beat the shit out of you when you were growing up? Were you bullied in school? Do you have some medical issues? Do you have something that's causing psychological problems? Are you in the middle of a traumatic event in your life? I mean, all these things play into how long it will take to heal you. Did you get a scratch on your arm or did somebody shoot you with a rifle in your arm? The healing process will take longer in certain circumstances. I don't know where you have come from, but the fact that you've been trading 22 years inconsistently, 100%, not 99, 100% you're suffering massive psychological toxicity. It's even coming out in your email. Like I could even just look at your email at this point and just tell. Right over here, the first thing you do is say, good afternoon. You come with respect to me. And then the next thing you do, just to teach you guys this psychology, do you guys find this a little interesting? First thing you say is, good afternoon. You approach me with respect. And then you bash yourself right away. You bash your own email. You literally bash your own email. Good afternoon. I don't expect you to have time for this silly note that I obviously wrote. See that? You're you're psychologically toxic. The good news is psychological toxicity is I was going to say my middle name, but it isn't. It's like not my middle name. My middle name begins with the letter J. But how to overcome psychological toxicity in your trading is sort of my thing. It's sort of my thing. Sort of what I do. And believe me, that book is just a little massage on your shoulders. You need like deep tissue massage. You need to get in there with those fingers, like just like that is what you need. If you're willing to go through that process, I will help you. I will help you. I'm willing to help you. And it's not personal. I would do it for any member of this room. Thank you for your email. I humbly believe you would not be able to show me something that I have not fixed before. I humbly believe that. Hi, Mark. What is level two that I heard you speak about? It literally just shows you the bids and offers. You get the column where there's bids on the left side, offers on the right side. That's all it is. What is level two? I've heard you speak about. How would you incorporate it into your decision making or trading? So this Sunday, I'm going to clarify everything. I'm going to remove the cloud, and first you have to see what's happening for a week. Then after you see what's happening, after you join and you're dedicating yourself to our family here, I'm going to show you exactly where my eyes are. Here's the level two. This is how I use it. This is where my mouse is. This is where the button is. This is where I'm ready to buy. This is what I'm looking at. I'm going to break it down for you like you won't believe, like nobody breaks it down. How would you incorporate? I'm going to go all about that on Sunday. What is the algo levels, the importance of it, and when and how would you use it? Okay, well, the algo levels are basically something that I created and invented in terms of the proper way to draw trend lines. It's pretty much the gold standard of the entire industry when it comes to trend lines now. I consider it literally my life's work. It is literally my life's work. What it does is it shows resistance lines. It shows resistance lines and support lines. That's what it does. When these levels hit, you tend to top out or bottom out. There's a good chance you top out or bottom out exactly at the support or resistance levels I give, depending on which support or resistance level it is. Okay. That is the point, to find support bounces and resistance bounces. There are people who just strictly and religiously use that. Um, that is one of the courses that we do charge for. It's one of the cheapest courses. There's probably a special on it going on this week. I can't talk about the price because I don't know it or tell you. That's one of the few things we charge for. The truth is, you don't need to know it, but the reaction from everyone who takes it is it's one of the most important courses they've ever taken in their life, even if they don't use it, because it gives them a really good idea of why and where stocks top out and bottom out. It's phenomenal. It's literally my life's work. Take it, learn it, and then decide or not whether you want to utilize it. That would be my take on it. All right, let's see the next question. Hey Mark, hey, I've been wanting to join your room for months now. There's been a few things holding me back from getting started, unfortunately. I've only had about $4,000 saved up. I have a computer set up already, good Wi-Fi, have a cash account ready with Schwab. I've been working from 6 a.m. to 4:30 as an accounts receivable analyst, so it interferes with trading hours. I've been debating for months now while I try to save up more money to just quit and start trading. Although I do have bills to pay, a car payment, rent, etc. What would you do best? um, you know, there are a lot of people who have given up their jobs and became full-time traders. However, to be intelligent, I always recommend to somebody you're going to be putting the psychological pressure on yourself. The problem is you work from 6 a.m. to 4:30. I get it. It's grueling hours. I mean, what is that? 10 and a half hours a day we're talking about for you? So you're working like 10 and a half hours a day. I wish you had like 30 minutes to trade. That would definitely make life different. I would focus on the psychology part of the room and I would continue working full time. See, people, what they don't realize is there's so many people who come to me and they're like, Mark, I was working, one dude at Staples, And he's like, Mark, I'm working at Staples. I'm a manager there. I'm working all these hours, whatever. I might be able to change my hours. I'm like trying to change my hours. But what he did was he literally joined the room like 5 months before he paid for the year. And he was like listening in 5 months. He's like, I just listen in the morning. I put, a little headset on. There's a T3 app now, which makes it easier. He used to have to do it like some complex thing through his phone where he opens up like a Chrome browser and he had like the whole hack Samsung setup, whatever the hell that is. I don't understand it too well. But now there's an app and people just listen in. And you could just listen in while you actually do your work. And you could garner the benefits in the growing from the psychology part because that's what you're going to need anyway. So I would not quit your job. I would not quit your job because you have bills to pay, a car payment, and rent. So what happens if you don't make money the first 1, 2, 3 months? I mean, you have $4,000 saved up, you know? So I feel you. I mean, as a accounts receivable analyst, I mean, I don't know what they're paying you. Probably 40, 50, 60, 70, somewhere around there is a random guess. And if it's more, I hope it's more. And if it's less, I meant no disrespect. I don't know. So pretty much you have a $4,000, let's say you have a $4,000 account. Let's say you have a $4,000 account. And if you're making like 48,000, you're making 4,000 a month. And 4,000 a month is pretty much 100% of your entire account value. I do not think you are ready to trade because you literally have no time to trade. And the only time you have to trade is if you literally quit your job. I can't, I would never tell you something that I feel could hurt you. Now, if you tell me that you have somebody else supporting all your bills, a girlfriend, a wife, a mother, a father, a boyfriend, a husband, whatever it is, whatever, wherever you are in life, it would be a different answer I have for you. But are you single and paying all these bills yourself? Then how would you be able to just quit your job when you have a car payment and rent? How would you be able to manage that? You would have to start making money like right away, day one. And I wouldn't want to put that psychological pressure on you. You wouldn't want to put that psychological pressure on you. The whole goal is to improve your psychology. I do think there's a benefit for you for joining. The funny thing is, joining the room is not always about trading. It ends up being trading, but a lot of people have to go through the psychological gauntlet. I don't know what kind of lifestyle you've lived or had, or how quickly you will or not learn. The more I learn about you, the more I'd be able to help you guesstimate how fast that might happen. But given the fact that you have $4,000 saved up, what are you going to do? Put it in an account? God forbid you lose the money. What are you going to do? Quit your job and, you know, miss a car payment and your rent? Like, hell no. Hell no. Join the room to learn if you could listen in during the day. If you can't listen in during the day and it's either 6 a.m. to 4:30 and I can't listen into the room at all, I would not join the service until you saved up more money. I would not join. If you can listen throughout the day while doing your job, even if you can't trade, there's a huge benefit there. And then I would say it's worth it. That's as honest of an answer that I could give you for what I would do. Again, I can't legally tell you what you should do, but hope that helped. One um Want to join, this is question. Want to join your room longer term, but need help with the best software broker. I've been an ES trader on Ninja Trader, but they don't do stocks. What is the best setup use? What is this best setup for you? I see TC2000, but they have 495 a trade. TC2000 is just for charting. Do not trade on TC2000. I use it just for the charting purposes. I don't open up an account. I just use them strictly for charting. It's a separate charting software. Do you use another broker that is fast like Ninja Chart Trader? I've never used Ninja Chart Trader, but yes, I use a fast broker. Thanks and great room. I'm seeing much more movements and opportunity in your trading methods you show with stocks versus ES futures. Right, because stocks have news. If Beyond Meat makes a new thing that's absolutely delicious, like Beyond Shrimp, you imagine that? How nasty that shit is? But imagine Beyond Meat came out with a new product, Beyond Shrimp, and we're giving it to every panda house in the United States, every Chinese restaurant, every panda house Chinese restaurant is going to be selling our Beyond Shrimp. And then Beyond Meat starts moving. The ES would never move. You can't really, unless it's like global news, the ES never moves based on a headline. Unless it's like a global headline, like some inflation, everything. I get it. But you're not going to have an individual company news really move it. That's a generalization. I would recommend one of three. I would either go Fidelity, followed by Schwab, followed by, if you wanted to go prop, I would go T3 Live Prop through Sterling Trader and do common stock. Those would be my three options. And get TC 2000 just for the charting. All right. Next email. Hello, Mark. Hello. I used the demo account today and took 8 scalps, 7 of which were profitable. The eighth, I chucked it quick due to low conviction call. I finished the day feeling psychologically healthy, although I have no idea how much money I would have made if the account was real. I have a couple questions for today. For scalping, what option time frame do you default to using? For example, nearest 30 days. Sometimes I use weekly, sometimes I go out next week. Sometimes there are no weeklies and you have to go out next month. So like for example, today I took MRIN calls. There are no July calls because the monthly calls expired the third Friday of every month. July 16th was the third Friday. The closest the closest time expiration was August 14th, right? Or the August monthly. The August monthly was the closest time frame on MRIN. So it depends on if there's a weekly or monthly. Just as a generalization, I call it out. I don't have any exact science on why I do it. It's kind of funny how little I know about options, but how successful I can be with options. Can you recommend a YouTube video or some other resource for me to understand how to use level 2 to see the momentum so I can front run a setup the way you view them Sunday for members of the room in terms of a video right now? I'm sure there's some video I did out there. I don't know if somebody in the room wants to. I mean, I have done videos on the level 2, but there's just so many videos I have done that it's just like not popping off at the top of my head. Um, maybe somebody in the room knows, maybe not. All right. These are the questions for today. I wrote you much more deeply perplexing email last night about trading under the PDT and growing a small account. Thank you for all you do. I am joining the Newsbeat family for sure. Sincerely, gentleman who wrote it. Again, welcome to our family. Dear Mark is the title and the first two words. Dear Mark, I've been trading for about 6 months. I struggled during the spring, but had a killer June and built back a lot of my earlier losses and was gaining confidence. However, in July, I didn't have great risk management and blew my account up. I'm sorry. I've been trying to be more careful now and follow the rules, but I'm quite skittish and missing entries and lost faith in myself in general. How can I overcome this loss in psychological toxicity and get back on a winning trend? You're in the right place. I really appreciate all you do and want nothing more than to be consistent, but feel I may never get there at this rate without some sort of shift in mindset. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to help your psychology grow. We're going to show you strategies that can, fortify your psychology. A lot of the strategies out there literally destroy your psychology. A lot of the 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1 risk rewards with the entry here, the stop here, the take profit here, those destroy people. I haven't seen one successful service that does that for the majority. There will always be someone who can do that really effectively. I haven't really seen anybody out there who can do that. I can't do that. And I've seen most people can't. The bottom line is your losses are supposed to be minuscule compared to your wins. Period. Every time. Every time. If that's not happening, you're doing something wrong. I'm going to show you what that is. I'm going to help shift your mindset. It starts with the psychology, it continues with the strategies, it continues on bettering yourself. If you are willing to go on this, you say you want nothing more. You say you appreciate all I do and you want nothing more to be consistent. I'll help change your entire mindset. Don't worry. That's what I do here. You're saying this is what I do here. It's going to take a certain amount of time. You say you've been trading for 6 months. I don't know what kind of habits you have. I don't know your strengths. I don't know your weaknesses. I will learn them over time and help you overcome them. Literally, through writing these emails just like you did, I'm going to learn better about who you are, what you do well, what you don't do well. I mean, literally, you're going to share it with me. Literally, you're going to give me all the answers. Okay. All right. Hi, Mark. I had the biggest drawdown in 2 weeks. 30% of my account drawdown, $150,000. How do you overcome this psychologically? Feels like it's haunting me now. It's a horrible feeling. I mean, you didn't give me, unfortunately, any details other than unfortunately what happened. I don't know how it happened. Did you double down or did you sit there and you held on to a losing trade too long or both? It's one of those answers. I'm sure it wasn't by death of 1,000 paper cuts, for example. Um, I would simply say, I would simply say, change what you're doing, change your psychology, follow the strategies, figure out what you do well, figure out what you don't do well. The more you tell me, the more I'm going to be able to help you. Right now, everything is going to feel awful. I know the feeling of having bigger drawdowns than that in my career. Everything is going to feel absolutely awful right now. There's nothing I say that's going to take away the pain, but there is a way in which I could help you grow from the situation. And obviously, I'm going to need a ton more details than what you shared with me, which was obviously very little. I'm not going to tell you write down your rules on a piece of paper, make a game plan, and follow it to the T, and you're going to be fine. Uh, that's bullshit. We all know that. That doesn't help people get out of situations. I have to fix your psychology. I have to figure out the strategies you're doing, and I have to help you approach them intelligently. And the more details you share with me, the more I can figure out. Sorry about your drawdown. Mark, I've been confused about the algo levels that get posted, so I just finished watching 617, Newsbeat show 617, A plus algo triggers predicting the volume surges flawlessly. I understand how to calculate the levels, I just don't understand what to do with them. Can you please provide some insight? So a lot of times right before an A plus trigger, what I end up doing is I end up front running the actual level. What I end up doing is I actually end up front running the actual level. So for example, there's A plus triggers every day that we use. Every day that we use, there's always an A plus trigger, and there's almost always an A plus trigger. There's a way to take advantage of them. There's a way to take advantage of them. So my goal is obviously to front run them. So let's say there's an A plus trigger at $10. I'll try to give you a sloppy dirty napkin in a burger bar type mentality. So let's say you have let's say there's an A plus trigger at $10. $10 is an A plus trigger, right? So let's say the A plus trigger is let's say you come up with the A plus trigger because you said you know how to calculate it is $10. Okay. So that line is the A plus trigger at $10. You have a bar coming up here You have a bar coming up, you have a bar coming up, and then what happens is you sort of pull back, and then instead of exploding up, you start leaning up. And what I'll do is I'll try to buy it, for example, buy long, just making up a number, $9.88. I'll buy long right over here, buy long at 988. So if the stock goes through 988, the volume, if the stock does go through 988, I'm predicting that hopefully it will get to 10 bucks, hit 10 bucks, explode in volume, and then shoot up higher, in which I will often immediately sell somewhere here, somewhere here, somewhere. It doesn't matter. I'll usually end up selling. So let's say it pops to 1030, 1040, then I'm long from 988. I try to get in before 10 bucks if there's an A plus trigger there. That's how I personally like to approach them in the current environment. Okay? Remember, different environments, different things. That's how I like approaching them now. Hey, Mark. So I have a cash account with roughly $2,500. I have money in my savings as well, and I want to add money from my savings so I can trade a few more times in the day, but I feel like I'll lack in discipline and will overtrade and take bad setups. Psychological toxicity because you've done it before. And you're being honest with yourself, but it is psychologically toxic. That's okay. I'm listening. As of now, my plan is to grow it to around 5K and then add money from there little by little to see how I act with more cash flow. Do you think this is the right mindset? What would you do if you were in this situation? Also, what was the thing you said you would take in the morning to wake up? It started with a B, I believe. Again, I am not a nutritionist or a doctor, but they do sell these things on Amazon. It's over the counter. It's a B12 blend, 2,500 micrograms, organic energy booster. The label right here is Global Healing Center. You could literally buy this B12 blend right on Amazon. I take 2 squirts underneath my tongue sublingually and wakes my ass up in the morning. Now back to your other questions. Do I think it's the right mindset? It makes sense to me, the mindset. You want to prove it to yourself first. I would paper trade though and figure out what you do well before bed, before trading any money. And then once you figure out what you do well and you're on the right psychological field, when you feel basically you can remove this feeling where you say, but I feel like I'll lack in discipline, will overtrade and take bad setups because it's happened before. So you're somebody who suffered psychological toxicity from the past, understandably. We'll fix that. We have to fix your mentality by showing you confidence in what you can do. And once you figure out something you can do, which will help you build that path, I will help you build that path. You'll be like, I need a brick, Mark, and I'll be the person, holding the brick and, ready to chuck that brick at you. That'll be me. You'll be like, Mark, I need a brick here, Mark. Can you help me? And I'll be like, Yep, here you go, right at you. But yeah, once we fix the psychology part, you're going to be in much better shape. And yes, what you're saying does make sense to me. Hey Mark, I've been losing money bits by bits in July. My account is down to only a third left of whatever I used to have. I don't know what I can do to save it now. I feel like I'm closer to blow the last third left than to do anything useful with it. Can you please advise what I should do before it's too late? I love this room and I don't want to leave with no money left to trade. Thanks, gentleman who wrote it. Um, I would very simply say, in the meantime, we're dealing with a very tough environment, and a lot of people trade the whole day. And in this environment, um, unfortunately, in this environment, it generally pays to just chill. It generally pays to just chill. And I don't know if you're above PDT, maybe try one share. if you can, or maybe ignore it. I can't tell you what to do, but right now we're not in a great environment. I mean, you literally can see it. Some people they just refuse to really trade more than one contract or so. When I say the tier conviction is low and light, and I'll tell you it every day before the day starts. I'm not going to Captain Hindsight you. I say this in the pre-market every day. That Go back to figuring out what you do best. See which stocks you've been losing money on. Find out which stocks you've been making money on, and try to gravitate towards those. Hi, Mark. Thanks for taking the time to read and respond to my monstrous email yesterday. You're welcome. When it comes to your overnight positions, if the market opens lower and your position is down, do you cut them immediately upon the open? Generally, unless the stock is shooting up on the open. But you sometimes hold since you're typically working with a further out expiration. I don't typically hold anything. You made the suggestion that I should go back to paper trading first before using real money again, and I personally found that when doing paper trades, it was equivalent to playing a video game with infinite health and infinite lives. It felt fruitless and totally removed the difficulty or challenge. Wouldn't it be better to buy at least one contract or one share? I can't legally tell you to? Yes, it always is better to do it live than on paper if you can afford that risk. When taking trades that way, I can still experience the psychological ramifications of trading even in a minute form rather than using Disney dollars. Yes, absolutely. Also, I recently moved and I'm not currently working a 9 to 5 for the time being. I have enough savings stashed away to get by for at least the rest of the year, even with the wife and two kids. I really do want to live that dream with the rest of you and trade for a living, but for someone who suffers from as much psychological toxicity from trading as myself, would you advise against remaining unemployed for now? Or is it the fact that I don't have the constraints of a job tying me down actually a benefit for someone who wants to put the demons to rest and finally become a consistently profitable trader? Great question. Again, it's always better just psychologically to have a secondary income. I can't talk about it being a 9 to 5. If it's 9 to 5, then you just can't trade in the first place. But it's always nice to have a secondary stream of revenue if you can do it. Last question for now. I don't know if this is something I missed in the open house, but how do you communicate directly with one of your more challenging cases, like myself, if there isn't a built-in direct messaging system on the T3 platform? If you do so via email, then it sounds like I will become a recurring guest on your nightly recap shows. Lucky you. Thanks. Um, do it. Make, Bring it. Come on. I've been dealing with so much psychological toxicity over my life from so many people whom I've helped. You don't scare me. Like you don't scare. You don't sit down. Bring it. Bring all the shit you got. Just bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Do it. How do I deal with it? The old-fashioned way, honestly and thoroughly, is how I deal with it. Okay. Welcome to the family, by the way. I could tell you're going to be hitting me up. I can't wait. Um, all right. T3 question is the next title of this email. Ooh. Hello, Mark. Today was fun watching you all grab the tinies, the teenies. Oh, you're old school trader. You're old school trader. Teeny represent if you're not an old school trader, teeny represents 1/16th of a dollar because to move a stock a dollar, it used to take 16 levels, like 1/16th, 2/16ths, which is 1/8, etc. As opposed to today where it takes 100 levels to move a dollar, 1 penny, 2 pennies, all the way up. By the way, today's conversation about gurus and hurus. You are not a chatty guru talking about a home run 20 years ago. You are a duru and are not satisfied with the status quo. Teaching, coaching, and mentoring what you do every day, and we get the real up-to-date deal. I am ecstatic. I am not sure what planet you came from, but we are all delighted you came in peace. Engage. We already have a chief Picardian officer. You are not taking that job position. So um, I'm glad you're excited, and I'm excited too, but back off, son. If Eddie better not have your footprint on his shoe. Don't be stepping on Eddie's toes now. He's like, I'm not sure what planet you come from, but we're all delighted you came in peace. Engage. It's like, it's so funny because if you actually watch the new Picard show, if you if you actually watch the new Picard show, he actually at the very end, the last thing he says, the last word of the show is him saying, "All right, set course for da 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 da." He's not captain of the ship, someone else is, but he's on the ship, and the guy looks at him, and Jean-Luc, he's like, I think he asks him, he's like, admiral or captain, whatever. He's like, and he's like, engage. And then like, then the ship moves. So, um, by the way, would love the reference. You're gonna fit right in. Just don't step on Eddie's toes. Would you please review my high-level strategy and let me know how I can prove it in any way? Sure. While I learn, join Newsbeat. Always the best thing you could do because you're going to be surrounded with things that you might not know how to do. You might be confused. We're going to help clarify it. How, I mean, think about it. You've been here for 3 days. Like, imagine what I could do with you over 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 years. Duplicate your system, platform, charting, brokerage firm, etc. So far, engage. I agree. Paper trade until I can functionally handle the platform and process. Load my account. Learn everything I can from you in the fantastic room. Once I have exceeded expectations, start developing my style if needed. Now, this, I mean, you are brilliant. Do you see the key word of what he said here? Once I start exceeding my expectations. Do you realize the science behind that? There's actually a science behind that where people start outperforming their educations. I literally had a chart for it to show like exactly how it works, the Twilight Zone chart. Remember that? Add value to the room when and where I can, have a ton of fun. This is beautiful. I mean, I can't legally tell people to do like these steps, but yes, this is exactly a brilliant way of approaching it. I'm saving this email. Like, this is, you get it. Thank you for the beautiful email. Obviously, you're joining our family too. Welcome to the family. And yes, I do agree with your entire mentality and process. Hi, Mark. My name, I'm going to keep your name out of this. My name is Dave. I'm coming to you through a long set of months, years of downward spiraling and trading. I'm good friends with Pablo. He has been pointing me back to your vids, and they've been immensely helpful. He had suggested I come to the open house, write you a letter, spare no details, and ask for your help. This isn't easy for me because I think help is a lot to ask, but believe me, if I ask for help, I really need it. I'm one of those very smart, very strong traders that has nearly killed himself. Also, asking isn't easy because in this period of toxicity, rejection or lack of response would be pretty rough. So I'm just going to stop reading your email now and move on. I'm just going to go on to the next email. Thank you for writing. Um, be kind of a dick move, wouldn't that? All right. Reading your email. I'm trying to lighten the mood here. Um, However, I've known you, followed you, listened to you on and off over the years, and do believe you meant what you've said in saying you'd read all and reply. That's the preamble. Preamble. Huh? Maybe a typo. That's okay. LOL. I need your help. I'm willing and capable of doing whatever it takes. I'm asking for help out loud. There, I said it. Background. Been trading for years, have been through complex option strategies which taught me a lot about how options work and that I don't have a large enough account to trade complex, high margin strategies. I have a small account, I have a very good options knowledge. I've traded with Rob, I've traded with you, and a couple years ago I traded futures for a bit. So I have a very good charting skills, very good understanding of patterns, candles, etc. I've never been consistent. To top it off, I've been losing money all year. I've been making some money and then getting my own way by tilting and overtrading and taking poor setups and logging large red days for no reason. When I'm green, get the day done. Can't get me in a trade. Rest of the time tilting. I will stay on it all day. I need to get this under control. Micro goals and closing each day green. And all you've said lately and in your videos, yep, amen, have been working on this, and it is of course a positive. I've endured many, many months of talking to myself in all the ways you always talk about. Very toxic, very down on myself. And by the way, I'm normally and by default a positive and fun, happy man, so this is what it's come to. Not okay. I'm reviewing all your setups. I understand them, but I'm not all the way through them. I get trading. I'm technical. I have decent setup in IB and TC2000. I have to get over taking poor trades, and I need to refine daily strategy so I get green more consistently and take the day done. When you have a small account and have three to five to $700 down days, not at all sustainable. So I guess most condensed help question might be I need to refine and get a good frame of mind and set of strategies. I need to cool and clear my mental toxicity, and it would be super helpful to know yourself in the room can dig all that. Yeah, it's pretty much what we talk about here. Probably micro goals and daily improvements of every sort. I want to be one of the people in the room that in a year is doing very well. I'm quite able to get there, but for this tiny chasm. If all this sounds doable to you, I'd like to join the room. All right, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't really want to get you upset. Hold on. You put that on your refrigerator? It's funny. I like to put turds behind my refrigerator. That's awesome. I can't believe that. See, do. This is gold, bro. I didn't know you did that one eye, Willie. That's gold, bro. Get that on your refrigerator. Ah, Melnick won't see me if I go grab a slice of bread. Oh shit. Oh, my bad. Just turn around real quick. Going back to the email here. Um, if all this sounds doable to you, it does. And I'm not saying that because you're going to join the room anyway. I'm saying this because yes, I want to help you because it seems like you're willing and you want the help. I want to help people who want the help and are willing to go for it. If people are willing to go for it and improve themselves in the way in which I will guide you, I will draw the path for you to improve yourself. I will not let you go at it alone. But you have to want to do it. If you want to do it, I will help you. And it seems like you definitely want to do it. So obviously, this is really the only room in the industry in which you could join with what you're asking. Unless you want me to just say, follow my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 favorite strategies, sign your credit card, and I won't talk to you ever again. But you know that's not what I do here. I'd appreciate any attention and mentorship possible. You'll get as much as you want. Would that be a healthy participating member of the Newsbeat fam? Maybe don't read this letter out loud. Bro, you can't tell me that on paragraph 9. I don't vet these emails, bro. Maybe don't read this letter out loud. Yeah, it's a little too late for that. It's like you're the type of dude, you go out, you get drunk, you wake up the next day next to this girl, and you're like, maybe we shouldn't do it. And it's like, bro, we've been there. We've been there already, bro. Come on. Paragraph 9. Do not read this email out loud, Mark. Well, now we're here. We're both in the bed, waking up with morning breaths reeking of tequila. Here we are. But if you could reply or give me a ring, that would be very nice. That's not happening either. I'm giving you better than a ring. I'm actually talking to you. I'm listening to you read the letter from the guy who started trading in 1999 at 38. I'm sharing because I need to, and I do believe in you in the room. I'll take you all your time and input seriously, and I'll do the work. That's what I need to hear. As you're telling him, I'd be happy with that 500 or 1,000 a day and keep doing my job. I want to go through the process. I am able. I am asking all my best. All right. I wish people understood that I answer them on these emails, but he was reading it. So what I am going to do, what I'm going to do for you is start at minute 45 about. I'm just going to send you link to this email and tell you when to start watching. Yes, brother, I will help you. And no, it's not personal. It's not personal. I do this for everyone. Hey, Mark. Wanted your take on monitor setup. I currently use three and wanted upgrading at four new monitors. What would you go with? Was also thinking of going with two ultra wide monitors as opposed to four. What's your opinion? I know it's a personal choice, but just started my research. I mean, I don't know. I use I use, let's see. I mean, I use like a four monitor setup here that I just took a picture of my setup. I mean, I use a four monitor setup that sort of looks like that. It's like, I don't know, 21, 22, 23 inch. I really forgot. I'm not going to measure diagonally and try to find the diagonal, diameter of it. Um, it depends on what you're comfortable with at the end of the day. There is no good answer, but that's all I could do is share with you what I use and share with me what you use. I would just make sure you're comfortable at moving your head around to read it. And our last email, for those considering joining, is the name of this email. For those considering joining. Hey, Mark, just wanted to drop a line for those considering joining the room. Attached is my equity curve since joining the room last March of 2020. Most of my profits are from 2021. I started down and it took me months of hard work to get profitable. It's a process, and if you work hard and do the right steps, you'll be able to achieve more than you expected. I'm just an average trader in the room. There are a ton of people in the room who make more than I've made overall since last year in a month. But with Mark and the room's help, becoming a consistently profitable trader went from a dream to a reality. I'm not there yet, but I know with Mark in the room support, I can become a seven figure, which is $1 million plus trader in the next couple of years. If this is your dream, there is no better place to be. Please, P.S. Please send me my Venmo for the email to the usual account. I'm going to drop $5 in your Venmo for writing me this email. Um, this is his equity curve, and I guess these are just his profits for his cumulative return. And look at that, very smooth equity curve. So he's been trading a little more than a year, and you're up about 300 grand. So what is that? A year, March to April to May to June to July. So like year, 16 months, made a little over $300,000. Okay, I respect that. I respect that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we do. Oh, I just realized I was sending people the wrong link to the video. It was actually the new video, which I had a link to share. Oh, that's gonna be bad. Damn. Okay. So, look, I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show tonight. A lot of times I am just doing these emails for the room only. But if you are watching on YouTube and Facebook and you personally enjoyed this Newsbeat show, make sure to drop a like. Let me know your feelings behind it. Success begins with you agreeing to be part of a journey. A lot of people, not everyone, have been burned trying to follow the path of other people. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. The only thing is just realize everything that you saw here is just what we do. It's real. I didn't make anything special for you. I pretty much treat you just like I would any other member of the room if you're new here in the open house. If you want me to change your life, you have to give me that opportunity. So, what we're doing here is I am literally offering you the opportunity to change your life. This job does not make me enough money where running this room is a financially intelligent decision for me. However, from a moral perspective and all the charities we give to, it's an amazing decision for me. So believe me, I do not need you to join this room to pay my bills. I don't. I need you to join this room if you could buy into the fact that you want to become a consistently profitable trader. And once you do, you're open to the idea of donating to charities of your choice and making the world a better place. If you are open to that mentality, you belong here. And yes, I've taken people with very small accounts to get to where they are right now, and people with very large accounts and everything in between. Is this the right place for you? You have to be the person who makes that decision. From the bottom of my heart, I love each and every one of you. You are a loved person here in the Newsbeat Live family. No matter where you are, no matter where you're from, what country you're from, what life situation you're in, there's somebody at the other side of that computer who loves you. There are people around you who love you, who care for you, who would go out of their way more than a lot of people's own family members would to help them and to help you. It's ultimately your decision if that's the type of environment that you wish to be in as part of in your trading destiny, in your trading life, on your trading journey. Again, from the bottom of my heart, I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show. Happy trading, make money. I will see you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock a.m., right here in the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Don't forget, if you're not part of our open house, there is a link in the description, as well as our free How to Overcome Psychological Toxicity in Your Trading ebook. Both are free, both are invaluable. Have a